Hey everyone, welcome back to A Barbie Collector. At this channel we mostly talk about vintage Barbies, so if you're into that, stay tuned. As you can tell by today's video title, we are diving into one of the most intriguing and rare dolls from the 1960s, the Side Part American Girl Barbie. She's already rare to begin with, but even within the range of Side Part Barbies, there are quite some variations that make her even harder to find. In this video, I'll share everything you need to know about the Side Part Barbie, her origin, how she reflects the shifting fashion of the mid-1960s, and how to identify the different versions that were released around the world. So, let's take a look. The Side Part American Girl was released in 4 hair colors, as a dark brunette, a pale blonde, a rare cinnamon brownette, and as a silver ash blonde. Here we can see a beautiful and extra rare brownette variation. She has a head full of hair. It's crazy how much hair she has, and it's styled on chin's length. She has round curled bangs and a hard curl on the side of her face, and she wears a blue headband. Barbie has high-raised brown eyebrows, and she's wearing the iconic blue bright eyeshadow that Barbie wears from the early 60s until the mid-60s. She's one of the last Barbie dolls to wear this iconic look. Her lipstick is in fabulous condition. It's still pink. It has not faded at all. And she has something that's very characteristic for the Side Part Barbie, and that is chubby cheeks, especially if you compare it to the regular American Girl Barbies. She has a tan skin tone and has no discoloration whatsoever. There's also no color difference between the head and the torso, or the arms and the torso. Barbie's wearing a bright pink/reddish nail polish on all her fingertips. She looks like she comes straight from the shelves. She's wearing her original American Girl swimsuit that's in very good shape, and her turquoise open toe heels. She even has some nail polish left on her toes. On, I dare to say, 99% of the bendable leg dolls, you can't find this nail polish on their toes anymore because of the vinyl. It's very soft, so the nail polish rubs off very easily. And I think this only shows that this doll has probably never or barely been played with. All Side Part Barbies were released with a blue satin ribbon in their hair, like I mentioned before, and they came with a string of silk or elastic that went from ear to ear to keep the hair in place. I was able to loan this exclusive and super rare Barbie from PM Collectibles, Europe's very unique Barbie store based in the Netherlands, and guess what? She's for sale. So if you're still looking for this unique doll, you know where to find her now. So it's time for an in-between fun fact. There is this theory about the facial contours of the American girls in general, and that's the face mold that's also being used on this doll, that when a face mold ran its cycle, it would begin to wear down. And as a result, series of heads would gradually change in size before being replaced by a new mold. So that is a theory about why we have like smaller head molds of American Girl Barbies and why there are some who have a more chubbier look. Yeah, so I thought let's share this fun fact with you guys. The transitional year 1966. So 1966 is the year that the Side Part Barbie was released / was created. And it was a fascinating turning point in both fashion history as in Barbie history. The early 1960s were still deeply influenced by the 1950s. Fashion was elegant, refined, and polished. Think of Jackie Kennedy, neat suits, pillbox hats, pastel colors, and a timeless sense of sophistication. Barbie's wardrobe at the time mirrored that same ideal. Think about outfits like Suburban Shopper, Fashion Luncheon, Open Road, or Enchanted Evening, reflecting this classical femininity, graceful and composed outfits. But by the mid-1960s, things began to shift. Youth culture took over, led by London's mod scene, referring to the modernist. Designers like Marie Quant introduced a miniskirt, while models such as Twiggy and Penelope Tree became the new icons of modern style. Fashion turned playful, bold, and graphic, with color block designs, synthetic fabrics like PVC and nylon, and short haircuts. And since Barbie has always been a reflection of society, we also see this back in Barbie, in her wardrobe, but also in Barbie, her looks. Barbie in transition. Just like real-world fashion, Barbie was also evolving. From the structured bubble-cut hairstyles of the early 1960s, we moved to looser and trendier looks like the Marlowe flip around 1967. Like I said, the Side Part Barbie was specifically this like in-between gray area doll between this like more old-fashioned 1960s look and the more modern look of the end 1960s. Mattel introduced bendable legs and a refreshed wardrobe that matched the swinging 60s energy. Think about bright colors, shorter hemlines, and London-inspired mod outfits. Around the same time, Barbie's world expanded internationally. Her British cousin Francie was introduced in 1966, and even Twiggy herself became the first celebrity Barbie in 1967. The twist and turn Barbie also arrived with a youthful face sculpt and vibrant, playful vibe that truly captured the new generation of the decade. Between two worlds, the side part American Girl Barbie. And this brings us back to our doll of the day, the Side Part American Girl Barbie. Released in 1966, she perfectly represents that transitional moment in Barbie's evolution. She was a more sophisticated alternative to the regular American Girl Barbies. She came with a soft side part hairstyle, elegant and refined, very much in line with early 1960s sophistication. But by the time she reached store shelves, fashion had already shifted towards the mod, futuristic aesthetic. Her look was simply considered too classic for the rapidly changing youth-driven market. That's why she barely appeared on toy shelves at all, and why she's now one of the rarest Barbie dolls ever made. She's almost like a farewell to the chic, poised early 1960s Barbie, a beautiful tribute to a vanishing style era. That's how we see her nowadays. Versions and variations. There has never been found an original side part Barbie with the hair color white ginger, lemon yellow, or scarlet flame, or any red color at all. But there's more. Production differences for specific regional markets make this doll even more fascinating. She was sold in the United States in 1965 and 1966, but very few of these dolls were distributed, which explains their rarity today. The US variation came with a gold wire stand. Then we have the Japanese side part, created in 1966. Side Part Barbie was the last old-faced Barbie doll to appear in Japan before the transition to the twist and turn Barbie doll era. Made with the same tan-tone vinyl as the USA variation, but with brighter makeup, vivid red or orange lips, and a distinct cheek blush. In the 90s, a couple of boxes with these dolls were rediscovered in Japan. Still in pristine condition, they were stored for decades. Even though most Japanese girls have black hair, the ash blonde version was the most popular in Japan. In this hair shade you will find most side part Barbies in general. Other hair colors are way harder to find, like this cinnamon Barbie we have right over here. The Japanese version came with a round black pedestal stand with gold and engraved Barbie logo. The dolls that were sold in the cardboard boxes in Japan were sold as dress dolls. They are found never removed from box, wearing the outfits Modern Art, the Japanese version, and Lunch on the Terrace, Pan Am, Lunch Date, the Japanese version, amongst others. There are labels on the boxes of these dress dolls with a code like KB1647, which meant dress doll wearing golden glamour. So besides the American side part Barbies and the Japanese side part Barbies, there is another Japanese side part Barbie, but with pink vinyl. She has a similar hairstyle, but she is produced in totally pink toned vinyl. She was made from the same vinyl as the twist and turn era Barbies. Available in blonde, as a dark brunette, and as an ash blonde. She's even rarer than the tan tone version. But these dolls tend to discolor, unfortunately. They were first discovered in the late 80s and the early 90s. The heads are usually available attached to a standard or twist and turn Barbie body. These are all high color Barbies, meaning that they are wearing very bright out there makeup, beautiful in contrast with their pale pinkish skin tone. These rare factory finds teach us a lot about Barbie history and how an entire line of Barbies was discarded to make room for a new doll, a redesign to fit the hip and modern days. Not to make anything more confusing, but these Japanese side part Barbies were sent to different places around the world. So even though she's a Japanese side part, they could have been sold in the USA amongst others. There are even some rare cases of original owners in Europe selling their side part Barbies. The Barbie that we're looking at here in the store from PM Collectibles is also a Barbie that has been sold by an original owner who bought her in Europe back in the day. The European side part American Girl came with this double row of hair rooting, giving her a fuller hair volume. She's amongst the hardest to find, especially complete. with her outfit and everything. There isn't much information about this doll being sold in Europe or like there being a European version at all, but I also find it very important to share that story with you guys. That's also how things went with Mattel and how like rest issues or stockings were sold around the globe. When we look back today, the Side Part American Girl feels like a snapshot of the moment when Barbie and women's fashions were on the brink of change. She bridged the gap between two distinct aesthetics, the polished, refined elegance of the early 1960s and the bold, youthful freedom of the late decade. And that's what makes this Side Part Barbie so captivating, so intriguing, so beautiful, that she represents both an end and the beginning of an era. So, like I mentioned, this Barbie is for sale. I'm very grateful that I could loan her for a little bit from PM Collectibles, Europe's unique Barbie store based in Dordrecht in the Netherlands, because she's for sale over here and I love to make a video about the Side Part Barbie, and I do not have a Side Part Barbie in my collection yet, so very grateful that I could loan her and make this video and do some research and share this with you guys. Upcoming weekend, there's a Halloween weekend at PM Collectibles. And what I'm saying is that everything during Halloween weekend is 10% off. And that also means that this Barbie doll is 10% off during the upcoming Halloween weekend, which is this weekend. Here you can see a poster of the event, and here you can see some footage of the store already being Halloween vibes at all. They were just starting with setting everything up for the Halloween weekend when I was there. So this is just a preview. There's more. There are over 3,000 dolls in this store in stock, and everything is 10% off during this weekend. Also online, so not only in store. So check out the websites. If you want to know more about this doll, if you're maybe interested in buying her, I am not a seller, so please send a message to Paul, the owner of PM Collectibles, through their Instagram or email them or through their website and ask them about the price, and they will gladly help you or give you some more information. So, everybody has a holy grail Barbie. A lot of people assume that the holy grail for most vintage collectors is the #1 ponytail Barbie. Well, who would have thought that a lot of collectors would place a Side Part Barbie higher on their wish list? Well, I already knew that was the case, but after doing some research and making this video, I totally get that. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you watching this video. And check out my channel where I specifically talk about vintage Barbies. I've been collecting for over 15 years and I just love to share my experience as a collector, but also everything I've read and the research I have done about vintage Barbies in general. So this video was very fun to make, and let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and that was it for today. So thank you so much for watching again. See you in the next one. Bye.